welcome to Bullet Bill's Big 3, and we are back, baby, yeah. I'm your host, Baron Marf, and I'm joined, as always, by the gunslinger himself, the one and only Angry Link. How you doing, buddy?
Excited.
Exciting times.
Yeah, I can talk a bit more. It's not so rushed.
Yeah.
Again, first episode of our new weekly news roundup.
Yep, exactly that. So we're basically going to be bounty hunting. Welcome to my country. We're going to be doing some bounty hunting, aren't we?
Yes. We're going to be pushing this analogy and this theme to the full.
We're going to thumb this down the throat of the listener. So basically, each week we're going to be out there hunting the big bounty news items of the week. Each going to get one each straight off the bat. And then it's down to who brings the tastiest bonus bounty, who gets the third one. So should we wade into this bad boy and start off with our first bounty? What have you got, Link?
Well, obviously we've been off air for a few weeks, so it's been a busy few weeks of news, so it's been hard to narrow it down a bit. But I think the big one for me, straight off the bat, Microsoft have dropped the big specs for the Scorpio.
Oh yeah, this is what we've been waiting for.
Obviously we know it's going to be fully revealed at E3. Phil Spencer's talked about that obviously before, but they at least showed it off to the press and they've announced the specs for the console.
Cool.
So I have some numbers, because I know obviously how technically proficient we are and
Indeed.
how well we explain these things.
Yes.
So I'm just going to throw a few things that I've written down.
He's just reading them off a list.
Yeah, totally. Well, I did at least write this list out myself. I didn't just merely copy and paste it.
I penned it with my own hand.
Exactly.
Right, so go on, what you got?
So we have 8 custom cores, x886. Sorry, let me start again. 8 custom cores of x86 architecture.
It's easy for you to say.
At 2.3 gigahertz. Do you know, when we were doing rehearsals, I practiced this. It was fine. It was rolling off the tongue without no problem. So 8 cores at 2.3 gigahertz, custom cores.
Right.
In comparison to the Xbox One, it had 8 Jaguar cores at 1.75 gigahertz.
The Jaguar core.
Yeah, obviously the PS4 Pro with the same customized. Well, I don't know if it's the same customized Jaguar, but that's the infrastructure that they've used with the architecture. That's also got 8 cores, but that's at 2.1 gigahertz. So we've got 0.2 gigahertz more.
Thank God, because I've been each night I've been sweating over those gigahertz, thinking.
Yeah. But it's CPU, so it's one of those. It's, you know, I'd imagine the people that have made these things, that's the correct decision. I don't know.
Good work, guys.
You know how consoles work. That the first year everyone's raving about how much power it's got, and then the preceding 7 after that, it's they should have put more in.
Yeah,
it's always the way. But anyway, they've got off to a good start. They've chucked obviously some new architecture for the GPU in there. So you've got 40. Or not 40.
40 gov.
40 gov, yeah. So 40 customised compute units. So that's, again, GPU.
Yep.
In comparison, the Xbox only had 12. Obviously, the PS4 Pro has 36. So it's not blowing it away in terms of how much, in terms of spec, but it's how it's used again. We've got to RAM. They've just chucked 12 gig of GDDR5.
Nicely done.
So no fucking around with that ESRAM bollocks this time around. So there's no bandwidth bottlenecks and shit like that.
Okay, cool.
Obviously the memory bandwidth's jumped up massively. So that's now gone from, again, because of the ESRAM, you can add the numbers together and use a way to get it so it looks better. But the ESRAM could handle 204. The Xbox itself could handle 65 gig a second. Whereas just the Scorpio will handle 326 gigabytes per second and just all going through just that one fat pipeline of GDR5.
Cool.
Standard stuff with a hard drive. Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
you were about to make a point. But,
no, believe me, I wasn't. I don't understand jack about this other than the fact that bigger numbers sound better.
Go full Clarkson. More power.
Yeah, more power.
But yeah, 1 terabyte hard drive, which to be honest in this day and age it should be fucking standard anyway.
Like you said though, I'd like to see them be able to just take that bad boy out.
It's the one thing for the last few generations or last couple of generations that Sony have been really good on. It's just like you're going to fill this game up. Hopefully you fill this up.
Yeah.
So we want you to be able to take it out easily so you don't have to send it back. So hopefully it doesn't void the warranty like all of the other Xboxes it does. And again, they've one up Sony with the optical drive. So they've gone for the 4K ultra high definition Blu-ray drive.
Sweet. So we're getting a player.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, there's obviously been some other bits and bobs released, dev kit stuff. They did show off some imagery of like comparisons. It was on GameSpot that you could see what it was like before it was upscaled from like normal Xbox One to Xbox Scorpio, and then obviously native Scorpio stuff. And it's interesting, but like I was remarking earlier, I remember the T-Rex demo from the PlayStation 2 days and thinking this is what games are going to be like, and then seeing Dino Crisis and the T-Rex in that. It's like, it's tiny.
Yeah.
And it's all blocky.
It's not real.
Yeah. So I'm not one to jump through hoops at the sight of some pretty tech demos.
Yeah.
But again, wait till E3, we'll really see some stuff come out.
So I answered a questionnaire recently on how my Xbox ran for Xbox, and I said like a pig, like an absolute pig. So hopefully just bigger numbers, bigger pipes means smoother running.
I don't know, I can't help but think, the way they said, and they were touting with the Xbox One and with Windows 10 and all of this shit, and it'll be super fast and all of this stuff, and it's just like, if you added an extra few gigabytes of RAM and got rid of that fucking ESRAM, are they going to now do the same thing with the 4K? And it's like, it'll do all this stuff at 4K, and then it'll just run exactly the same as the Xbox One, but just in 4K.
Yeah, it'll be a prettier thing running like a pig.
Yeah. I don't know, but I did see one interesting thing though that I would petition Microsoft to make sure they put in on the final release, and that is on the development kits. You've got a frames per second LCD display on the front of the console.
Yeah.
And the internet is just screamed in unison and said, Microsoft, put this on.
Yeah.
So we can name and shame.
Basically, the hardcore out there will be going, put it on there, because I want to prove to these who keeps in the marketing department, who keep saying that it runs at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. We want to see it, prove it, name and shame. Name and shame.
Won't change.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go, cool. Okay, so shifting over to our second bounty for this week, it's over to me, and it's data mining. God, do I love a bit of data mining. A data miner known by Screez M, he's known for doing things like Pokemon sort of info dissemination and all this sort of thing. Well, he's been tweeting away on an article sort of brought to light by Kotaku. Basically, he's been looking at what he referred to as a leaky metadata server of Nintendo's, and put a little tweet up saying, excuse the digits on this one, pretty excited for 0040001A4800. Basically, it's a game, and the game is Ever Oasis, which was announced not too long ago, last year.
Secret of Mana thingy creator.
Yeah, sort of heritage, exactly that. That's how imminently we know that's coming out, sort of tail end of June 26, something around there. So can't wait for that, and also can't wait for 00 blah 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 blah. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga DX, which is a amazing advanced game, one of the first in the Mario RPG series, basically, where Nintendo just blew the mind of players by saying, we're not doing this in a Mushroom Kingdom, we're doing it in the Bean Kingdom instead. Wow, this is,
we're moving away from fungus to legumes.
Yeah, exactly. So a few days later, he said, Nintendo fixed their leaky server, so I'm going to post what I've got, and posted up an image of two little icons, one for Ever Oasis and the other for Superstar Saga. So it just adds the sort of validity that this is happening. So an amazing game, something I've been a great fan of. Me and my mate Mossman, check him out on SoundCloud, you'll find him through us some way. We absolutely hammered this game. I mean, destroyed it. It's an amazing game, one of the best RPGs. So it's going to come. All we're waiting for now is for Nintendo to actually announce it.
The confirmation at the E3 Direct.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And I want to see more of this, more of these sort of like classic advanced games which were just amazing come into 3DS, come into Switch.
Speaking of classic advanced games, how about just bringing Advance Wars?
Where is Advance Wars?
On the Switch. I want on a Switch Advance Wars, because I remember they did do do you remember Warhawk on the PlayStation 3?
That was a brilliant game.
GameCube had something similar, but it was Advance Wars. Sumo Digital did it back in the day. But I love the idea of that, like a bigger scale Advance Wars on the Switch.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Switch Wars.
Yeah. And seriously though, all joking aside, I probably no more than a fortnight ago was searching for what Advance Wars games I can pick up at the moment, what platform they're available on. It's only really 3DS. And it sort of ports into that from older versions.
Yeah, because wasn't it did they actually bring one out on the 3DS? Or was it just the DS ones?
Just the DS ones.
Yeah, Dual Strike, and it was only the one.
No, there was another one. They did. I think they did a couple of others actually, but they were such minor, sort of quiet Japanese release titles.
Yeah, they've never sold well over in Europe, and I don't think America.
They're just brilliant strategy games. Fuck your tower defense. Give me Advance Wars.
Such simple mechanics that I love. It's just that rock paper scissors thing all over again.
Really tactical. Great game. So that's a bounty each. We're going to move on to the bonus bounty, and sadly, you've got the first week, haven't you? We're going to keep score on who gets the most bounties each week, and it's 2-1 to you. What have you got, Link? What is it?
Well, do you want me to do? Should we do a different scoring format? And it's just we discount the first one.
Oh right,
because it's one each. It cancels each other, and it's just 1-0 now.
Do you want to say 1-0 or do you want to say 2-1? What makes you feel more comfortable?
What makes you feel more comfortable? Because you're obviously
neither. I don't want to acknowledge it at all.
Well, one's obviously better than being one behind is better than two.
We're going to find out what we decide next week.
Yeah. So, anyway. In a nice little segue, and with some exciting games like you say, Ever Oasis, and potentially once Nintendo announce it,
their secret project.
They've also announced a new 2DS XL, and if I can say it properly without stumbling and trying not to fumble,
go for it.
The new 2DS XL has been announced, and there's been a hands-on as well. Just not mine. Yeah,
there's been lots of hands-on. None of them are hands, but they people are playing with it, and it's looking good.
Yeah, well, they announced it way back on the 28th of April. Well, that's obviously when the news dropped. So they're releasing it this summer, the 28th of July in the US. I'm not entirely sure on the UK price or release.
They're usually not too far away from each other, if not same day. So.
Well, it's releasing for $150, so that works out at $135, and that's sort of placeholder prices in some European markets.
Cool.
So obviously we see the console's been slimmed down a little bit. They've dropped the 3D because again, obviously it's a 2DS, so why would it still be there? But that's obviously allowed it to shrink it down a little, so it's a bit more manageable, a bit more ergonomic.
So I saw that. A little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, and a bit more ergonomic to the hand is what people have been saying.
Yeah, like you said, there's been, but it was, I think, last week, wasn't it, that there was a big press hands-on. And for all accounts that everyone I've read, it's all been pretty positive. Like everyone's like, I don't give a shit about the 3D, but it means that now I can buy a sick 3DS. Some people are like, it's such a great console. There's some amazing titles still to come. There's such a great back catalogue, and they've made some really good little changes. Like you say, they've dropped the 3D because for a lot of people it's just inconvenience. It allows them to make it thinner. So obviously we're saying again.
Well, I like
to go over old points.
Top screen, isn't it? It's all glass now, which I think is a really nice little finish to it.
The best change or the most welcome change, I think, which a lot of people are extremely happy about, which they were pissed off that they didn't do on the 3DS XL, was the SD card slot has been moved, which I'd imagine has probably got something to do with, I don't know, they actually thought about it from a design point of view and a use point of view. So that's now moved to where the game slot is.
And they should move that team onto the Switch.
Yes. Give them the pat on the back, and it's slap the head. That's how it works. What did we think of that before?
What do you think of the overall aesthetics of the thing? Like the blue buttons and all that.
Looks smart.
Yeah, it looks tidy.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Say when you buy a 3DS and you get a company that goes, we can take that 3DS and make it look really cool. And it looks like what they give you back, like you can send controllers off to scuff. And it's like, here's your normal PlayStation controller, but now have it back. Now we've done something cool to it. And you're like, this is really cool. I don't want to use it because it's too cool and it will break if I use it. So it's got that air of it now. It almost looks like the best, most polished version of The 3DS.
People have been saying that. They are saying this is like the one which sits at the top of the most advanced, best, features, most designed, most considered version out of the DS, 3DS, 2DS, XL, non-XL family. This is the one.
I think the way that I thought about it is, out of all of the 3DS line, is the one that if you used to say be in a public place, you could get it out and it looks smart.
Sorry.
And it's not like you've got out a toy, because it doesn't matter what anybody says. Gaming can grow up all you want, but every single Nintendo, as far as every adult or person that doesn't understand gaming in the world thinks of, it's a toy.
Video games, I've said it before, I will say it again, this is where we earn our M rating. Video games are the anti-pussy of hobbies.
They totally are.
Yeah. Cool, okay. So, you've done it. You've taken the bonus bounty. I'm going to say it's 1-0 because we're going to measure them in bonus bounties. So there we go, 1-0 to you. And
can I borrow your pen?
Yeah.
I need to write this down.
Damn it! Here we go. So what we're going to do now is each week we're also noting that we may bring a few news items to the table, which are our bonus bounties or our bounties. We're saying these are the ones that are important to us, but we recognise that other shit goes on in the industry. So we're going to have a quick draw session with Quick Draw McGraw, Mr. Link, who's going to bust out a few of the other items which came up over the weeks. So what we got, Link?
So again, like I was saying earlier in the show, it's been a long, busy few weeks. There's been some massive stuff, so it's hard. It's been difficult for me to try and refine this down, because I think I could have gone for about 3 pages. Which
yeah.
You were looking at me sternly of just the length of a whole page before, so I'm glad I didn't do that. But getting back to the point in hand, we're going to bust out with a big one straight away. Activision, who revealed Call of Duty World War II, and the trailer has got more likes on YouTube than dislikes this time around.
Is that a surprise?
No, because everyone's been clamouring for World War II.
Yeah, it's nice for them to catch up.
Yes. Randy Pitchford, speaking of catching up, has been teasing Borderlands 3 again. He's been tweeting out mocap photo sessions where he may or may not have been playing a bandit in a game that they may or may not have been developing.
Let me just very quickly tease something to Randy Pitchford. It's the only IP you've got which makes any money, so I guess we think it's coming back. Go.
Uncharted The Lost Legacy is releasing the 23rd of August, 22nd in the US, for $40. Obviously no UK price or European price as of yet.
But of course.
But it'll probably be $35. Nintendo have shown off another direct featuring some new trailers or more trailers for some of their release date for the summer and the upcoming year.
I love the way that Nintendo just keep dripping it on the stone, like tss,
yeah.
Tss, constantly just feeding you that. Hey, don't forget to buy our stuff.
Speaking of don't forget to buy our stuff and drip feeding content, Destiny 2 gameplay reveal on the 18th of May.
Ooh.
I wonder if that got picked up, that click of the ankle there.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a press invite live event, so I'd imagine it will be a conference centre somewhere and a band or orchestra going
I think it'll be exactly that.
Yeah. But no Marty McDonald. He'll probably be there throwing eggs outside.
All covered in it.
And speaking of throwing eggs and being covered in pissed off and all
Those
that,
greedy bastards are back again.
Yeah, Vivendi. They're not giving up on Ubisoft, and they're apparently reports are saying that they are planning to take over at Ubi. And speaking of taking over, that I think it sort of wraps it up, really.
There it is, folks. Well, our first show, the first refresh of Bullet Bill's Big 3. Hope you all enjoyed our new section. So, as always, check us from all of that usual, social
description
media
stuff in the Seymour bit.
Yeah, all down below. Go catch it. So, from Angry Link, it's
1-0 to the Angry Link.
Oh man, and for me, I guess, well, I'm out. Boots.